Picture this. The 1920s. Everyone's either jiving or moonshining. Flapper dresses were all the rage in Hollywood. Well, Hollywood was all about glitz, glamour, and a whole lot of business. Now this is the era the Hollywood studio system was born. Like a mega corporation of fun. These studio giants known as the Big Five, Paramount, MGM, Warner Brothers, Fox, and RKO, and the Little Three, Universal, Columbia, and United Artists, pretty much had the whole shebang under their control. And by shebang, I mean they had an iron grip over film production, distribution, and exhibition. It's like having the recipe, the oven, and the bakery. Talk about vertical integration. Imagine a world where every actor, director, writer, even the gaffer was tied down by contracts to one studio. Picture signing up for a 7-year stint with MGM, where you couldn't work anywhere else. It was almost like high school, but with more glitz, fewer pimples, and an option to change your elective. So, if you're wondering why your grandpa's favorite actor appeared in 27 films in just 1 year, well, there's your answer. The studio system was more like a film factory. It was the ultimate dream machine, turning out one big hit after another. Yet, just like the police procedurals on every channel, it was also often too formulaic. There were the same faces, similar plots, the good old predictable happy endings. But the studio system wasn't all sunshine and roses, my fellow snobs. It was heavily criticized for its control over talents and independent theaters.
These guys even figured out what's going on here at the studio because the studio makes pictures to serve the system. That is its function.
Imagine being stuck playing the damsel in distress when you have the chops to be the femme fatale. Or being, wanting to play the hero cowboy and you're stuck playing the town drunk. It just wasn't fair for most of the actors that are in the game. And, most theater owners, they were having the same problems. They were forced to booking bundles where they didn't know what they were getting ready to show. They were just being handed things. This is called block bundling. And sometimes those movies could be as boring as watching paint dry. But didn't matter. They had to show them because that was a part of the contract. And that was what the studios who own these theaters were saying. It was a problem. And it was becoming a real problem that was about to shine through big time. And all those good things for studios had to come to an end. The studio system was over. And it took an antitrust case to do it. It got the ball rolling. United States versus Paramount Pictures. Finally, the bubble was bursting in the 1940s. The United States versus Paramount Pictures, also known as the Hollywood Antitrust Case Act of 1948, marked a significant turning point in the history of American cinema. The United States Supreme Court was targeting the monopolistic practices of these studios, the major Hollywood studios, specifically Paramount Pictures in this case. But the decision also impacted other major studios like MGM, Warner Brothers, 20th Century Fox, RKO. The case addressed the issue of vertical integration, where studios controlled all aspects of the film's life cycle. From production to post-production to distribution to exhibition. And in the theaters that they owned, that was a big deal. The court ruled against this practice, stating the violation of antitrust laws. The decision led to the separation of production and exhibition, ending the era of the studio system and opening the doors for independent theaters and filmmakers. And eventually giving rise to New Hollywood, the period in the 60s and beyond that gave us great movies that we love and that we watch today and we're thankful for. And great filmmakers that are still with us and have continued on in legacy. It's important, and I'm so glad that this independent rise was able to come from it. And that studio system was a hell of a thing at the early times. So next time you sit down and you watch an old movie, a Hollywood classic, remember the titan industry that it once was. And be glad that you're not signed up for a 7-year stint and being typecast as something. Unless anyone's got Paramount's number and they're looking for a 10-picture deal for a giant, I'm happy to take it. McManhattan will take the call. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching Snobs Movie Summer School about the studio system this week. I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching the Scene Snobs podcast. If you're watching the clip or you're watching the podcast or listening, I appreciate you. Continue on. We got some really cool stuff. Make sure to hit like and subscribe on YouTube. Make sure to rate and review us wherever you're listening. And I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Take care.